Okay, well, I hope this is working. We are gonna go ahead and do Advent of Code Day 2. We're looking at the gift shop. Hmm. Make sure that's looking good. Okay. Let's see, something like that. That looks right. Let's get rid of that. Boom. Part 1 done. Took about 3 or 4 minutes. Let's see what's up with part 2. Interesting. I mean, these are all mostly the same, huh? Okay. Jesus Christ, these errors I just set up and they're kind of annoying. Okay, that's messed up. Wait. What? Okay, we did it. That got pretty messy in here. I had to do some debugging. So let's clean it up real quick. I'm trying to be a little quiet because my son is sleeping, so Apologies if my voice is low. That should have been easier than it was. Jesus Christ. But we did it, assuming I didn't break anything just here. Okay, so to do a quick walk through it, our input is a series of ranges, right? And we need to check each individual ID number within this range inclusive. So the first thing we need to do is just parse our input. First, I'm going to split it on commas, which is going to give me an individual range of numbers, right? And then I do this funny little map listing to parse it out into a start and an end. I'm going to iterate through all the IDs in that range. But I'm actually going to look at them as strings because it's easy to just like take a slice of a string and compare it instead of dealing with digits and stuff and integers. So for the first part, it took me a second to understand the instructions here. But they're saying you're looking for any ID which is made of some sequence of digits repeated twice. So that basically means the first half and the second half are the same. So 55 is 5 twice, 64, 64, so that's 64 twice, 123, 123. Right, so you're just looking at the first half and the second half. So that's pretty simple. Since we have a string, I'm using a little Python magic here. So I get the length of the string. I use this little like Python syntax to slice it in half. So I get the first half of the string. I get the second half of the string. I see if they're equal, and if they are, then I increment my total by the original ID, which is still an integer because we parsed it into an integer here. So that works. I just ran it down here. It gets my answer for my particular input. For the second part, did I format it already? I guess I did. I got a little tripped up on like an off by one issue in here, and some like little brain goofs, but I basically had the strategy pretty quickly. So it's similar to the first part, but in the first part we're just looking at something that was repeated in half. But in the second part, you can break it up into different sizes. This one is broken up into thirds, so we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one is broken up into fourths. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This one's broken up into fifths, actually. And this one is broken up into sevenths. But it's basically the same. You just get one segment and see if all the other ones are the same. You see, the code is not that different. I'm starting out parsing the same way, going through the range, getting the length of the individual ID that I'm working on. So then what I did was I iterated upwards from 1 to the length to see if I could make a clean split of the length with a given number, right? Because if my number is 3 digits long, I can't split that into 2 because that would be uneven, right? If I was like trying to split it into groups of 2, it wouldn't work out right. If my string was 4 digits long, then I could split it into groups of 2. So I'm doing a little modular action here to see if I can split it evenly. And here's where I had my first bug. I think I had not equal to 0 for some reason, when I clearly wanted it to be an even split, which would mean no remainder. So lost a little time on that. And then the logic is kind of similar. So instead of getting the first half like I did in this part, I'm getting the first segment of length I. And then I'm iterating through the remaining segments of length I and seeing if those segments are the same as my first segment. I got a little messy here in my coding. I think that made it a little harder to debug. I could probably clean this up. But basically I use a flag that says right, like, is this invalid? So basically I start off with the assumption it is invalid until I can find an example when it's not, when it's not. So then I go through, I use J to break off more segments. So I know I'm going to need to go through length over I, because that's going to be the amount of segments if I is my segment length. So again, if I have a group of 4 numbers, if I is 2, that means I'm going to have 2 segments, or 4 divided by 2. So I'm going to have to go through twice. And then I break it off. So the previous segment is going to end at j times I. So that's where I'm going to start here. And then I need to go I additional places. I don't know why I thought I needed a +1 here, but that was actually throwing me off again because my segment was 1 longer than it should have been. Anyways, this has been a messy explanation also, so maybe I just need to clean up my life. But it works. It got the right answer. Can't argue with that. Let's go ahead and dump it in again just to see. Boom, there's the answer. There's the answer. It did take a quick second or two there. That could be improved. A lot of these calculations can happen in parallel because they don't really depend on each other at all. So I could use like some parallel programming to check a ton of different IDs at the same time, which would speed things up. So maybe I'll look at that some other time if I'm feeling bored. But otherwise, for now, we are done. Day 2, and we'll try again on day 3 tomorrow. So thanks for sticking around. I'm in my pajamas because it's late and I already took a shower.